So the question is, Constitution, as it stands today, is a result of various historical forces that acted together to give it its present form. Stop. Give an elaboration of those forces. 8 mark. 8 mark. Okay, next. Next is explain, how the Constituent Assembly, how the Constituent Assembly reflected how the Constituent Assembly reflected the diversity of the people of India, and their opinions, Explain, how the Constituent Assembly reflected the diversity of the people of India and their opinions. Stop. 4 mark. 4 mark. Next. Next, discuss the different arguments made in favor of protection of the oppressed groups while framing the Constitution. Stop. 4 mark. 4. Next. What was the status given to the princely states? What was the status given to the princely states by the Indian Independence Act, IIA capital? What was the status given to the princely states by the Indian Independence Act 1947? 1 mark. One mark. Next. How did Constituent Assembly, how did Constituent Assembly of India, Constituent Assembly of India protected the powers of the central government, How did Constituent Assembly of India protected the powers of the central government? Question mark. Explain. Question mark. Explain. 8 marks. Next, what historical sources shaped the vision of the Constitution? What historical forces shaped the vision of Constitution? What historical forces shaped the vision of the Constitution? Question mark. 4 mark. Jivanangshu, last question was 8 mark. And this question is of 4 mark. What historical forces shaped the vision of the Constitution? 4 mark. Next. What connection did some of the members of the Constituent Assembly make? What connection did some of the members of the Constituent Assembly make between the political situation of the time and the need for a strong center? Between the political situation of the time and the need for a strong center. Again, I'm repeating, please carefully listen. What connection did some of the members of the Constituent Assembly make between the political situation of the time and the need for a strong center? Question mark. 8 marks. 8 marks. Next, describe the rights of the minorities. The minorities. Describe the rights, R-I-G-H-T-S, the rights of minorities. Stop, 4 mark. Stop, 4 mark. Next. Explain the views of. Govind Ballabh. Explain the views of Govind Ballabh Pant. Explain the views of Govind Ballabh Pant and Begum. Acha Jivanangshu, I can see constantly you are typing. Before you type anything, please write the questions because I am not going to wait for your typing. You write the questions at a stage, then you ask the questions. If I am not able to answer, your other friends are writing, they will give you the answer. Why are you wasting time on typing in the keyboard? First you write the questions. I am not going to repeat the questions for you again. You have to make up your speed because the final board exam is not going to be the MCQ where you have to choose only one answer. You have to write. Okay. Explain the views of Govind Ballabh Pant and Begum Aizaz, A-I-Z-A-Z, Begum Aizaz Rasul, R-A-S-U-L, Govind Ballabh Pant and Begum Aizaz Rasul on separate electorates. Stop. Separate electorates, these two words will be within quotation. And this is 8 mark question. Next. What were the views of N.G. N for nose, G for goat, N.G. Ranga. What were the views of N.G. Ranga regarding minorities? Next, describe the different arguments made in favor of protection of depressed classes in the Constituent Assembly. Describe the different arguments made in favor of protection of depressed classes in the Constituent Assembly. 4 mark. Now Jivananshu can ask his questions. Jivananshu, you can ask your question. Okay, that's all for questions from this chapter. Jivananshu is asking some question. Others, do you have any questions and doubts? Then you can also ask. Otherwise, we will start writing some of the questions from chapter 1, that is Harappan civilization today. Okay, some of the questions from Harappan civilization, and through which we will start our revision. Four marks, Ashmita. Ashmita, 4 marks. What was the status given to the princely states? 1 mark. Jivananshu, 1 mark. Okay, Jivananshu. Now for question chapter number 1. From chapter number 1. Chapter number 1. What were the contributions of John Marshall, John John, John Marshall, Director General of the ASI, Director General of the ASI, what were the contributions of John Marshall, Director General of the ASI? To Indian archaeology, to Indian archaeology. Chalo start. John Marshall became the Director General of ASI in 1924. Stop. He declared the discovery of a new civilization He declared the discovery of a new civilization, that is Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization to the world. Stop. This was his contribution. This was his contribution. Stop. Okay, so as time is not permitting us, so I'll stop the class now, and next day we will again continue from this. Any doubts?